Alrighty, guys. So 3:30, time to wrap it up for today. So the announcement came out pretty much as expected, no change. And market was actually behaving pretty darn good. It has been a lot of range, a lot of volatility to it, but it's been directional in a pretty good way. So initial reaction obviously is kind of crazy. Then you had a little slow grind down here to halfway down, basically pulling back to about 50%. And then I had a nice little rally after the announcement, and we did the press conference at the 2:30 time frame, started squeezing this to the upside, and look at that grind. Now, this is a lot more difficult than you think to get on because you're looking at these bars are like 46 up to 60, like 20-point bars. So and that's the size of these bars. I'm trading with a 5-point stop. So that's pretty much impossible to get in on this unless you want to get in and really make it like a 15, 20-point stop, which I didn't want to do. So I kind of opted not to. And if you look at the shorter term chart, it was pretty rough action going on there. They took it higher. I mean, you can see from the high of that bar, 58, they retrace it for about 10 points down. So pretty good retracements, but net to the upside. So if you wanted to try a trade there, very doable. It's just had to make the stop a lot bigger for it to work. And then they ran out of gas here at the 74.80s, and that was exactly at resistance. Look at this. Right up here to the high of the day session, right into this resistance area, almost up to the 74.85 90s. But right up here, they squeezed it above the day session high. For a second there, I thought it was going to take it higher, but it's and then they reversed. And look at that reversal, nothing but crazy town. This is just. I mean, how do you deal with that? I mean, it's not quite what you expect. As if you try to get long on the way down here, you would absolutely get hammered. Try to get long against the mean, you would get hammered. So go with that with trading didn't work. Even if this was a pretty darn good move, now they're right back here towards the lows. And look at that, absolutely falling apart. Heading lower, probably going to be challenging the low, maybe even make new lows. That's how crazy it's getting. So yeah, we have earnings after the close as well, but this reaction is kind of weird. I had to say. So the initial very positive reaction, squeezing this to the upside, and complete reversal. And I'm not sure anything he said that was that controversial, but man, what a crazy market. I haven't tried to trade this. I would love to, but this is the volatility is just a little bit too crazy. So chances are I'll just get shaken out of these trades. And Nasdaq, same story there. It's even more volatile. So I mean, trading that one is that's absolutely impossible right now. So even these little bars up here on the high, they are a 46 up to 96 at 50 points. All right, so 50 points is that little bar there. I'm trading with a 40 tick stop. What is that? That is 10 points. So I'm trading with 10 points. I have my stop is like 1/5 of that size. So if I try to put on an order here, it would look stupid. I'm not doing it. Even if you try to do a go with trade, it would be like, yeah, go in, get in, break even, shake out. It would be like the dynamic there. So, but it is tradable. I mean, you just have to put this have bigger stops and hope you're right on the direction. It's just that it's so whippy, and I opt not to, even if it looks pretty darn good, because it's just one of those things where it's so easy to get yourself caught in it and get yourself just run over. And there's no point of doing that. Just kind of let the craziness settle down, look for better trades, and then see if you can get something going out of it. So that's the way I would approach it right now. But it is pretty crazy, you know. And depending kind of where they close, because right now it looks to me like you're going to be closing on the downside. So I would start with a short bias on both of them, given what I'm seeing right now. If they for some reason retrace hard into the close, maybe start off range bound, but the Nasdaq not going to help itself. It's going to start on the short side no matter what. ES may be helping itself if it can get up above that 74.15. It was up there pretty heftily up to 74.70s. Now they're right back down below that. So ah, crazy time. So not much to do with that. Looking at the bond market. So the trades I've taken so far, by the way, it's just the ones I took earlier on. That's like one shakeout, two losers, and then one winner, and I'm up 19. So that's kind of the record. And I mean, I wish I could trade it, but it's just too volatile. Yes, I'd realize that volatility will just churn your account, and it would be not nasty. Um, Bond market, look at that thing. Bond prices blowing through the lows and and yield spiking. So not a great sign at all. That's an interesting reaction. When the bond market does this, it's not a great sign at all. You're gonna have to be kind of cautious about this whole thing. So that's a big deal right now to look at the bond market and try to figure out what these guys are up to. It could certainly be there's something in the works, and the market is not liking what it heard, or there's something else going on with it. But it is definitely something very very nefarious going on there. So I would be kind of cautious about the whole thing right now, watching the bond market, see where they're going to go from here. But it is pretty darn gnarly. So there you have it. Haven't time to trade it. I was watching the slop in the middle, but I totally missed this run. I mean, it's when it started moving like that, start heading, taking out the lows. There's definitely when that starts happening late in the session, you kind of want to join that. But again, it is with a 5-tick stop, it's also kind of moving a little bit too violently for me to hop on it, at least aggressively. But as you can tell, if you look at capital flow, you can see that we are right back here at the low again, at the 109, 8 to 10. And it's if they take that out, yield's going to go even higher, and it's going to get even worse for the economy. So interesting stuff. So bond market heading lower, trade up on the short side to get started. Let's see how they end up closing, but I would start off on the short side. Cryptos, I did one crypto trade, a couple of crypto trades on the Ethereum here, and it's hard to see it, but I mean, look at the bottom right chart, and I had one long trade here on the rotation up. You can make it a bit bigger so you can see what I did. So I'm looking at this big rally, right? And on the pullback to the mean, I try a long trade. That knocks me out. Then I try a short trade on the reversal. One, and I look at how they ran it out. This is the part where the Nasdaq ran it right up to the high. So that was the squeeze to the upside. And I was just shorting it 1, 2, 3, 4. I was in 5 contracts there. Not a crazy amount of money, but I just kind of kept shorting it and then thinking that okay, that they're gonna eventually run it lower again, and they did. And then I got out here 5 contracts at the mean. I scaled myself out of that position at the mean. So I made $1 or something net on that trade. I think I was down like, given that first trade, I was down like $7 or $8. Now I'm down 4. So I made a few bucks on that trade. But it's one of these things. Like, yeah, you can do that on the when the market is not that crazy big. But normally you don't want to be that. You don't want to be the guy which gets yourself into too big of a position. But this, you can do it on the Ethereum because it's not that crazy. Well, the market moves pretty crazily, but it's not large amounts of money involved, so you can always be a little bit bolder there. And this time it worked out. Sometimes it doesn't work out. You get knocked out, and then like, oh crap! But today it worked out. Back to the ES and Nasdaq, and look at this thing. This whole thing coming apart on us. There we go. So the ES making new lows. Yes, made a new low. Nasdaq is down here flirting with the lows. So yeah, so I was looking at the account here, the stocks, and they looked like they were up for a second there, positive, and then now they're all down in the shitter again. So God, oh guys, this is just awful stuff going on. Anyway, we'll leave it there for now, guys. So we'll wrap it there. Starting off on a short chart on the Nasdaq, starting off short chart on the ES. Let's see how bad it's going to get. Anyway, guys, we'll leave it there for now. I'll see you back bright and early in the morning. 2 more trading days in July. 2 more, 30, 31, and then we're in August. So 2 more trading days. By next week, we are in August. All right, guys, I'll leave it there. See you back in the morning. Later.